news here. Like we talked about, Pro Bowl linebacker Bart Scott joins us.
Appreciate you.
What up, man?
What's up, Bart?
Good to see you,
that
sir.
one right there, bang.
Yes.
Let's do it.
That's what he said.
Write that down.
Write that down. There's been a whole lot of lying going on in New York. I'm going to go ahead and bang. Be truth-telling today.
The New York Giants made big news, Bart, after trading Odell to the Browns a week ago. They made some head-scratching news, then deciding to stick with their 38-year-old quarterback. Yesterday, they put it all together for the most interesting news of all. We learned the reasons why. In a conference call with the media, General Manager Dave Gettleman addressed it all, starting with Odell.
After much discussion, we just believed this was in the best interest of the New York Football Giants. I want everybody to know this was purely a football business decision. There's no intrigue. There's no he said, she said, none of that stuff. So let's not waste time with those types of questions after the fact. Some have questioned why we signed Odell and then traded him. As I said publicly twice, we didn't sign him to trade him, but obviously things changed. And frankly, what changed is another team made an offer we couldn't refuse. This narrative that Eli's overpaid and can't play is a crock. I'm telling you. So at the end of the day, you guys got to say Gettleman's out of his mind or he knows what he's talking about when he evaluates players. That's really what it is. That's really where it's at. And I'm okay. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But what I'm telling you is, if you turn around and you take a look at what he's making right now, and look around the league and see what quarterbacks are making, all right, if you were in my shoes, you'd say, you know what, there really is not. The way he finished the season and what he's making, there really wasn't a decision to make. Really and truly, Pat, you know, very, very honestly, it's not my responsibility to tell you guys what I'm doing. That is not just like it's not my responsibility to respond to every rumor that comes down the pike. That's not my job, okay? It's not my responsibility. Trust me, we got a plan. And over time, you know, you've got to be patient. You know, everybody wants answers now. We live in an instant gratification society, instant gratification world, and everybody wants answers now. Over time, you'll see it. You got to trust it.
All right, Bart, I'll start with you. Is there any reason to trust the Giants' plan moving forward based on everything he's explained and all the moves this team has made so far?
All his plans are contradictory of each other. He's contradicting himself over and over again because he says, you know, he's trying to rebuild, so he's getting rid of Landon Collins, he's getting rid of Olivier Vernon, but then he signs Golden Tate. You know, you talk about a guy you guaranteed that's, you know, $23 million over 4 years, and how can you rebuild when you basically have the same player? Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate operate the same real estate. Why wouldn't you give that money to the younger player? Because when you get your new quarterback and you're ready to win, you have a young player that you trust that's been in your organization that's going to help you win. You know, I think really what this is a mission of that he didn't evaluate his team properly, right? So he thought last year, let's go all in. That's why you make a move like that for Saquon. Saquon is a finishing piece, you know, and Saquon's key in this because even though he's a transcendent player, probably get a gold jacket, he's well on his way to being a superstar, they're going to waste his talent much like Barry Sanders because he's going to be a great player without a team around him because instead of moving on from the quarterback, you already said, okay, you got him, he played well, but then instead of moving away from him, you double down. Right, and you bring back a 38-year-old quarterback, you're talking about he's not overpaid. Well, he makes more money than Cam Newton. He makes more money than Phillip Rivers, and I'll take those guys, you know, before I take Eli Manning any day. And then you want to talk about, okay, well, they got rid of, you know, Odell Beckham. If you add Golden Tate and you add, you know, Jabril Peppers' cap numbers over the next 2 years, that's $21 million. Well, Odell Beckham is like $24 million. So I'd rather have that one great player than an old player and a safety that we don't know what he is because in college he played linebacker. So the same problems and issues you have with Landon Collins are the same issues you're going to have with Jabril Peppers. He's underperformed. So what are you talking about? See, we had this thing when we were with the Ravens, we called it organized chaos. And we just say, we didn't know what we were doing and they didn't know what they were doing. And that was the beauty of it. He doesn't know what he's doing and he's going to have to figure it out. And he's making it up on the fly.
Listen, your point that they misevaluated last year is obviously true. No one, even the most ardent Giants fan can't dispute that. Last year they signed Nate Solder. They signed Omame, a guard that gets forgotten about. 3 years, $15 million, cut midway through the season. Draft a running back. They re-sign Odell. Everything they did last year was about winning right now, and the team started 1-7. And at the trade deadline, they're selling pieces off. So that was a misevaluation. But the other point you make, that the original sin is Eli Manning on this, is clearly true. What was the biggest cause of Odell's frustration? The quarterback. What was the biggest cause of Odell's distraction last year? The interview. What question in the interview? Do you have a problem at quarterback? What is the reason the Giants, it's so hard to believe they are a team that is trying to rebuild? They have a 38-year-old quarterback. And this idea from Dave Gettleman that Eli, well, hey, listen, look at the last half of how about we look at all of last year? Pro Football Focus says, in a clean pocket, 28th ranked passer. Under pressure, 34th. Accurate pass percentage, 32nd. Turnover-worthy play percentage, 28th. Like, you can't find a category that he's not in the bottom 5th of the league. There's only 35 qualifying quarterbacks. Now, that decision is almost assuredly over Dave Gettleman's head. That's an ownership decision about what we're doing with a legacy player, arguably the greatest offensive player in the history of the franchise. I get that part of it, but the moves he does have control over, trading Odell, trading away Olivier Vernon, who they signed in the offseason, drafting a running back instead of trading back or drafting a quarterback, those are the GM's decisions, and they haven't been telling a consistent story.
Well, it's hard for me to have faith in the plan because of what I hear. I'm giving a free piece of advice. Stop having press conferences, all right? You don't see New England Belichick having press conferences talking about personnel like that because you're only going to make mistakes. Because he said, yeah, it's not his job. It's really not. It's not his job to be able to give out whatever the trade secrets are and what I'm going to do in the future. But if you decide to participate in a press conference, it is your job to say something. And I do believe that you can evaluate talent. I know you don't know how to do a press conference, because you can't continue to actually proceed in good faith and try to let the public know, okay, this is what I'm doing. It's not going to work for you. The Odell Beckham thing went bad with the interview. And Odell Beckham is partially responsible for him getting traded.
Was he telling the truth, though?
You can't tell the truth. When you are a franchise player, you're not getting paid to tell the truth. Eli's not paid to tell the truth. When people made mistakes all through the years, Eli Manning always said, oh, that's on me.
It's covered up for him. 100%.
Oh, that's on me. Oh, that's my fault. Oh, I got to play better. Oh, I got to get better. When they asked him, do you like the quarterback? Do you like Bart Scott? As a guest, yes, I like Bart. Man, Bart's starting to get on my nerves. Okay? People do it all the time. He had a simple, it's a quarterback situation. It's good. And move on. That's what you're supposed to do. They're paying you to do that as a leader. But he's been trying to trade him, man, ever since he's got there. He talked to John Dorsey last year at the Combine about trading Odell. He would have traded Odell to San Francisco if they would have given him the number 2 pick. So trying to act as if, oh, things change, oh, they made him an offer. No, he had a tag on Odell's head, and Odell was not going to be part of them moving forward. So I believe in the Mara family. I believe in them. I really do. They've just had too many years of being good people and good owners, but I don't believe in the current direction that the Giants are going in.
I think the Mara family has been they haven't been playing well. They haven't been good owners because they punted, and I think that was a mandate that you had to keep Eli if you were going to be the general manager. That's why I believe Louis Riddick wasn't there. Now, Gettleman is an older type of guy. He believes in the Kansas City model, but there's no Mahomes out there. Now he's telling us that he may be in a running for a quarterback when he just told us last year that those quarterbacks weren't good, and then these quarterbacks are supposed to be better when they're not ranked the same. And he's a guy that can't see, that a Kyler Murray could be a transcendent type of player because first of all, he's never even drafted a quarterback ever in his career. Right, so he's always inherited a good quarterback. So we don't know what he's capable of doing. We know he's good in drafting people. He's not great talent evaluator as far as bringing in free agents.
How much more do we believe in the plan if they do go out and get a quarterback? How much of this is based around the fact that they're going into this year with a 38-year-old quarterback who didn't really prove that he could still be at the top of his game?
Like I said, that Eli's the original sin. Drafting Dwayne Haskins can wipe that away to a large degree. I like Haskins more than I like Darnold. I like Haskins more than Baker. Now, I was a huge fan of Josh Rosen. Obviously, he didn't have a great rookie season. We'll see what he is moving forward. So drafting Haskins or buying very low on Rosen. If you can get Rosen to New York for your second-round pick, Like, to me, okay, now you are starting to see the plan. Now you are working under the constraints that you have. That's the most fair criticism of Dave Gettleman. Everyone's got constraints at their job from their boss that they're not supposed to talk about, right? That we just got to deal with it. How well do you work given those constraints? Or are those constraints the reason for failure? If the constraint is Eli must be respected, you can't even ask him to take a pay cut. He has to be the starter until he says he's done.
How
okay,
about that?
man, those are tough handcuffs. But how well can you work given those handcuffs? If you can't, then what's the point of having a GM? Like, your job is to do the best given your circumstances. So, long way to answer your question. They get Haskins. To me, that fixes a lot of it. They trade for Josh Rosen. It potentially fixes a lot of it. I don't know that, given his commentary this year, that they seem like a team that wants to package picks to move up. And I don't think Haskins is going to be there at number 6.
All right, Bart, stick around. Coming up, could the Dallas Cowboys at a 3-time All-Pro? That's next on First Things First.